Let's also take a quick look back at some of the key events which moved the India market this Samvat. Let's go across to Ashesha for a Samvat to Samvat events recap.
Well, yes, as we enter Samvat 2082, we decided to take stock of the key events that moved the market this Samvat. First, of course, is Trump tariffs. Remember, tariffs as high as 50% were imposed on India in the last week of August. That clearly was a big trigger for the Indian equity markets. Several sectors were impacted: textile, gems and jewelry, pharma and seafood exports, to name just a few. US and China trade war continues to escalate. We have seen a whole host of developments take place over the last few days. To Trump, tariffs clearly were a major trigger for the markets this Samvat. Second is the consumption boost, GST rate rationalization, which came into effect on the 22nd of September. And this was also coupled with the income tax relief that was given in this budget. A tax on income up to 12 lakhs was completely exempted. So consumption boost was another trigger for Indian equity markets. Third is geopolitical uncertainty, and this is likely to continue as we enter next Samvat as well. West Asia conflicts, and remember, Trump, when he came into power in January, said that he will clear all the conflict and geopolitical tensions within 24 hours, but that clearly hasn't happened. So geopolitical concerns continue to remain an overhang for the market this Samvat as well. And let's also talk about FII exodus. Remember, FIIs have sold about 3.1 lakh crore since last Samvat, and this of course is coupled with a retail inflow that continues to escalate. Now remember, SIP stood at an all-time high of 30 lakh crore in the month of September, so that clearly is on an uptrend. And let's also talk about the reasons which led to FII exodus. One is Fed action. India trades at expensive valuations as compared to other emerging markets, and risk aversion clearly are some of the other factors which made FIIs leave India this Samvat. Monetary easing also continued. Remember, Fed cut rates by 25 basis points in the month of September. This was the first rate cut that we saw since December 2024, and Reserve Bank of India also cut rates by 100 basis points in the last 1 year. Monetary easing is likely to continue in the next Samvat as well. So that's as far as monetary easing is concerned. But let's also put some spotlight on primary market action, where companies in primary market raised about 1.77 lakh crores, draining market liquidity from the secondary market. So these are some of the events, the big events that drove markets last Samvat.
Thank you so much, Ashesha, for getting us all those interesting details. But moving on to some of the other